Here's the starting lineups for Philadelphia. A young-looking Billy Cunningham leading his troops. Julius Erving at one forward. Slammin' Sam Williams at the other. It'll be Moses Malone in the center position. Maurice Cheeks and Andrew Toney in the backcourt. And for the Phoenix Suns, led by John McLeod, with Larry Nance and Maurice Lucas at two of the forward positions. It'll be Alvin Adams in the center. Mike Holton at one guard and Kyle Macy at the other. There's our officials for tonight. Jake O'Donnell on the right and Jack Nees on the left. And speaking of officials, we would like to wish a speedy recovery to Jack Madden, the veteran NBA official who hurt his knee in the November 9th game between the Sixers and the Celtics. He had an operation a week and a half ago, and he's going to be laid up for about, well, they said about 10 weeks before he can start rehabilitation. So we hope that you get well quickly, Jack. Now you see loosening up there and getting ready to come out Billy Cunningham with his career record, 404 wins and a terrific 69.8% winning percentage. He was the fastest coach in the history of the game to be able to reach 200, 300, and 400 wins. And John McLeod is very close. He needs only 3 victories to get his 300th career victory. And both of these coaches are very unusual, Bill. They have spent their entire coaching careers in their respective cities with these teams. McLeod all of his years with Phoenix, and Billy Cunningham all of his years with Philadelphia. That's very unusual today.
Well, they're doing good work, both of them.
And they've been fortunate enough to have some good players. As Billy said, he said, listen, he said, I got a lot. He said, I got the records, he said, but I've had great players, and that always helps a great deal. He said, you can sneak around and trick them once in a while when you have some injuries. He said, but if you don't have the players, it catches up to you real quick. And you're looking at Moses Malone. There's a good look at John McLeod. Moses Malone has really, as we pointed out last week, gotten himself back on to the mainstream of things.
Well, he was hurt a great deal of last year, and this year he's healthy and back playing the way that Moses plays.
Yeah, I say McLeod is basically it's 3 wins for 500 wins, not 300 wins, as I mentioned earlier. Nance controlled it, but Maurice Lucas tipped it over to Williams, and Julius with the first shot of the game and the first 2 points.
Here's the key matchup, Cheeks and Macy. Now, what they're going to try to do is a lot of back picks so that Macy can get free to start the game. They tried a lot of picks on Maurice Cheeks.
Ball knocked away. Moses came up with it, throws it over to Toney, goes to Williams, who misses the dunk. I think what happened, he got so high, he had to move his head away from hitting the rim, and he missed the dunk. Quick pass down to Adams, who scores for the Suns.
Now, what the Sixers like to do is run the ball up. If they don't have a play, then they look for Moses, and then they start their offense. But that's the third choice.
Cheeks misses after Erving set a great screen against Macy. He knocks it away from Nance and scores the next 2 points. 4 points for Julius.
And the 76ers are a great defensive team. They're one of the best defensive teams in the league, and they keep the pressure on the offense at all times, either the running game or the half-court offense.
Suns love to pass the ball. A lot of cuts, a lot of picks, a lot of movement. Adams for about 15. So it's the Adams and Erving show. 4 points apiece for those 2 players. Notice that Moses Malone is guarding Maurice Lucas. On the other end of the court, and there's the matchup, and Maurice gets Moses to lose the ball.
And I want to tell you something, that's 2 tough guys guarding each other there.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's a good thing that they don't have any gas leaking around here, because there'll be sparks flying between those 2. Nance. Cheeks with the rebound. Erving was open, gets it over Macy. Nice pass. Julius with 6 points. Doing all of the scoring, and I guess the ankle's not that bad.
Well, they're starting off defensively very good. A couple of 2 of the 3 baskets are a result of good defensive plays.
Keep an eye on all of that cutting and the picks that the Phoenix Suns will do to get their men open. They will take the outside shot when it's there. Good penetration that time by Mason, and the pass off to Nance.
And again, Maurice Cheeks feels like he's in a picket fence, because every time he moves, he runs into somebody.
Well, that's what the Suns want to do. They want to get the Sixers to have to switch and take advantage of that and to penetrate against that defense. That's what John McLeod likes to do against pressure, is penetrate. Cheeks throws it away.
A good defense made that a hard pass because he had to try to lob the ball over the defense, and there wasn't very much room over there.
Billy Cunningham, as you saw, was not very happy, and we've got a foul. It'll be Tony pushing off against Holton. Al Bianchi, John Wetzel, the two assistant coaches next to John McLeod. Holton for about 19. Malone tips it over to Irving. Julius with Nance on him, the two finalists in last year's NBA Slam Dunk Contest. That was very exciting. Good pass inside to Malone. He's triple teamed and a foul.
Maurice Cheeks had to front him in because Moses got in too deep, so he fronted him in there. Got a perfect pass in. Here's the another look at that. Just got the pass, and there's Nance. I think they call it on, or did they call it on Macy? Well, he drew a crowd, I can tell you that.
They called it on Alvin Adams. So they kind of had their choice in that one. Adams picks up the first foul. One team foul on each of the ball clubs.
And Moses is one of the better free throw shooting centers.
Yeah, you would think when I first went down to play with him in Houston, I felt, yeah, Moses really is not that great a free throw shooter. But in the game, and the game was on the line, he'd pump him in real good. Again, good defense, knocked away by Williams. Irving to Cheeks, Cheeks past Macy, and that's the way you execute the fast break, and that's how the Philadelphia 76ers like to do it with their defense.
And there's one of those picks that Maurice Cheeks had ran into.
Yeah, Maurice is ringing the bells in his ear. Adams wide open. Malone knocked away by Nance, and last touch by Tony.
Now, Alvin Adams got that shot out there, but that's not the shot they wanted. The Sixers are not giving up any good shots so far. They're playing real good defense. They play good, hard-nosed defense all the time.
Almost thrown away. Nance inside with Irving on him. Malone, but Adams sneaks in. I think Moses got a little push that nobody saw. Alvin Adams with 6 points. Cheeks running the set offense to Billy Cunningham. They've gone away from that motion game. They only run it now about 1/5 of the time. Tony open. Lucas to Nance. And Cooper.
He looks like a 6'10 Gus Williams on that play. Run the open court.
Great lob by Irving, but Williams can't handle it, and Holtman loses it out of bounds for the Suns. An intense John McLeod, very intense individual. He strives to get perfection out of his team as far as execution. He wants them to execute that offense. Doesn't like to do too many fancy things. A lot of basic stuff he likes to run. One-on-one, Irving loses the ball. Quickly, Lucas gets it out to Macy. Sixers are back. Adams with a good fake against Williams. Malone over, draws the foul, and the basket. Now Moses actually committed himself a little early that time, I thought, Bill.
Well, he had to, because Adams had to play, and defensively you have to act sometimes rather than react.
Well, Alvin reacted that time, I think, to Moses, because he waited. He was in the air. He saw that. He waited till Moses started down, and then he went up and drew the foul. Alvin Adams having a great first quarter here. And Jake O'Donnell got a foul underneath on Maurice Lucas for pushing off to get that pass. His first foul, second team foul.
And Lucas doesn't need those kind of fouls, because if you're going to guard a guy like Moses Malone, you don't need any fouls on anybody else, because you got your hands full already.
Shot at Cheeks. Barkley sets a big screen. Tony looking inside to Malone. Now Julius. Barkley battles against Adams, and it's last touch by Barkley.
I was talking to Billy Cunningham, and he's really impressed with Barkley as an athlete.
Yes, he's called around mound of rebound. You saw him just cut across the screen there. And we'll keep a close eye on his playing tonight.
It won't be difficult to keep an eye on him. He takes up a lot of room out there.
Yes, he does. And right now, with 7:13 to go in the first quarter, it's the Suns 13 and the Sixers 10. The real story in that one, Bill, and that is, are the Lakers going to get their per diem going to play at the sports arena?
That's a road trip.
Hey, I tell you,
me on the road.
That's right. They're concerned. They want to know. Field goal, 76ers are 4 for 9 so far. The Suns 6 for 10. Alvin Adams is lighting it up here in the first quarter. 11 points. Cheeks inside to Malone. Adams with the rebound. He's doing it all. And that's the kind of shot that Maurice Luke said he wants to have Moses take. Nance. Irving with the good defensive play. And Moses Malone walked. He got the rebound and he lifted his pivot foot.
He sort of drug the back foot just about a foot or two.
15-10. The Suns by 5. 6:30 coming up to go here in the first period. Adams again against Malone, and this time Adams is called for traveling.
You know, it's very interesting to me to watch Maurice Cheeks on Kyle Macy, because what he's trying to do is not so much steal the ball or block a shot, but to just throw his timing off.
Which will throw up the timing of the Phoenix offense, because he is an important part of that. Tony with Holton. Doc all alone on the left side. Goes against Lucas on the switch off. Adams with a block. Macy to Holton. Here comes Adams on the trail. Holton didn't quite see him. Inside to Nance. He loses it. Tony kicks it and picks it up.
Good defense again by the Sixers.
Nice move by Andrew Tony. What a great spin move.
He hurt his ankle a little bit then.
Yeah, you see him grimacing. And we have the Suns committing an end-line violation. They did not clear the end line when they threw that ball back in bounds, and therefore it was a turnover. Barkley to take it in for the 76ers. Oh, Lucas pushed off. Moses stepped out of bounds, and he had a break there. He just gave Moses a shove right in the back and forced Moses to take an extra step, and he was out of bounds.
Cheeks runs into another pick.
Good defense again by the Sixers as they caused a turnover. Barkley. His first 2 points. Then it's 15-14 Suns.
I don't know if I'd take the offensive foul with Barkley coming down the middle.
13 points for Alvin Adams. No, I agree with you, Bill. I don't know if I'd want to take it either. That is a big man. Cheeks. Maurice Cheeks. One of the best all-around players in the game.
And has been for a couple of years.
Yes. Alvin Adams, 6 for 7 from the field. Holton on a nice drive against Tony. Didn't get it on the glass. Good outlet pass by Barkley. Cheeks all the way. Lays it in as Alvin Adams crashes into our table.
I'm injured, Rick.
Lawsuit. Sixers up by 1. 4:45 to go in the first period. Here's
the outlet pass. Alvin Adams goes after it. Comes over here to join us. And there goes Maurice Cheeks to join the scoring parade.
And ball back in play. Nance had made a drive to the basket. Lost it out of bounds. Quick pass to Irving in the open court. That's when he's in big trouble for everybody. They give the ball to Julius in that situation, and there really is hardly anybody that's going to stop him. And Alvin Adams picks up the foul. His second. 3-team fouls.
And here comes Julius to the hoop. And there's the foul.
Yeah, good try. You were only about a foot lower than Julius where he had the ball, Alvin. But it was a good effort. But they can't afford to have Alvin get in foul trouble. He's got 2 quick ones now, and James Edwards is going to report in for Alvin Adams, who leaves with 13 points, a couple of blocks, some rebounds. Great first 7.5 minutes of the first quarter for Alvin Adams. Julius now with 7 points. Make that 8. And very quickly, the 76ers are up by 3. Holton inside to Nance, and Julius will pick up the foul.
Julius is not quite tall enough defensive to guard Larry Nance, so he's had to gamble for the steal on the pass.
It's an interesting matchup because Julius is really kind of an idol of Larry Nance. He really admires him and respects him a great deal, but out there, Forget the friendship. You're at it. Edwards misses, and Julius clears. Quickly to Tony. Bad transition that time by the Suns.
Great transition by the Sixers.
4 points for Tony. Sixers by 5.
That'll get your ankle well real quick.
Holton from about 19. Moses with the long pass to Tony. Doesn't have the angle. Takes a tough shot and gets it. You get the hot hand for that man, and it's big trouble.
His ankle's feeling better all the time.
Looking inside to Lucas against Barkley. And Nance with a great offensive rebound. What happened is Moses was concentrating on trying to help out on Lucas inside, and he left his man alone, and you could see what can happen when you do that.
Especially a guy like Nance.
For Nance.
Spends a lot of his time above the rim.
Julius, 15, fadeaway. Tough shot. 10 points for Julius. '76ers by 7. Good play by Julius. Make it well for Julius. See, now, if he didn't have a bad ankle, that would have been a more spectacular dunk, though.
And they're getting a lot of their shots and their baskets on turnovers that they're creating. Not that they...
James Edwards moved quite well for having a sore tendon in his ankle. Philadelphia 76ers have got themselves a 7-point lead as they have done it with their defense. We're back at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum. Rick Barry with Bill Russell. The 76ers out to a commanding 7-point lead. Take a look at some of the shooting percentages for Philadelphia. They've increased up to 63% after being at 44. And Phoenix shooting well, but not as well as the Sixers.
Well, they're turning the ball over much more. When they're getting the shots, they're getting a pretty good shot, a pretty good shot at it. Alvin Adams helped that percentage a lot.
Yeah, 6 for 7. Barkley over Edwards. Lucas. Bobby Jones in the game now for the 76ers. Edwards makes the move and gets fouled. Bobby Jones. Clint Richardson now into the game for Maurice Cheeks. Clint from Seattle, Washington, attended the University of Seattle. Outstanding defensive player who was starting when Andrew Toney missed 2 weeks with an ankle injury. He just played his first game Wednesday night in Indiana. You wouldn't know it, though. He only shot, I think, 6 for 10, Bill, and 4 for 4 from the line. Or 7 for 10 it was. Edwards, 4 points.
Want to make sure everybody knew he was back.
It's Holton on Tony. Bobby Jones, who's looking to be more offensive-minded these days. There's the quick double when they get down in the post. The Suns will double. Moses misses. Nance rebounds to Macy. Sixers back well, very quickly. There's that ball moving here. John McCloud perhaps in the background yelling, "Move it, move it." Edwards over Malone. Tough shot. And a great bounce. 6 points for Edwards. 3 points, Sixer lead. 1:30 to go here in the first period. Good pass by Jones inside to Malone.
When they move that ball around the perimeter real quick, they can get Moses up because he's great at getting a good offensive position.
One of the quickest big men in the league. That's 4 for Moses. Lucas, blocked by Malone. Richardson comes up with it, and a silly foul by Maurice Lucas. I think frustration out of having the shots blocked, perhaps, Bill.
Lucas is second, first in the last 2 minutes.
The first foul in the last 2 minutes against the 76ers. They like to have Bobby Jones high. Very fine passes. You saw the last time on the floor. Barkley inside, and Edwards picks up the foul, pushing.
53. Foul number 53, James Edwards, his first.
That's the penalty.
Number 32,
Now, the Sixers are one of the best passing teams, too. They really move without the ball, but they pass that ball around the perimeter very quickly. And with Moses working for position all the time, if you shut him out in one place and they move their ball around, he ends up with good position inside because it's such good passing. So they're creating problems with their post-up game for the Suns.
That was Charles Pittman you saw come into the game as Maurice Lucas went to the bench. And a good close look at the round mound of rebounds. Charles Barkley misses both free throws. Sixers by 5, 45 seconds to go in the first period. Good backdoor cut by Nance and a great dunk. Nice pass by Macy. Oh, I would love to have been able to do that. 8 points for Nance. There's the post up in the double again. Moses quick. Macy knocks it away. Good hand by Kyle Macy.
That was good hands by Macy, double teaming him on Moses.
Macy already has 8 assists in the first period. Setting it up for one shot. The Sixers can get a last shot because the clock will stop in the last minute now of the first 3 periods. Down to 4 on the shot clock. Nance with shot at clock at 2. Barkley gets the rebound. 4 seconds to go. 3, 2. Barkley fires it up left-handed. Rebounds, and it's good. Great effort by Charles Barkley.
Well, that was a great athletic play there.
And we'll take a look at that one when we come back.
Beginning the second quarter, the Suns will inbound the ball.
And there's the man who had a great individual effort, Bill. I think it's worth another look, don't you?
Yes, this is he takes a shot, misses it, moves without the ball. It's a good way to get a good offensive rebound right there.
You see James Edwards, who was a little bit lackadaisical, didn't really feel anybody was going to do anything, but Barkley, with great hustle, covered the entire length of the floor in under 4 seconds. A man 6'8", 220 pounds. The only thing that could have made it a little better is if he had not taken off quite so soon, he could have dunked that one. So the 76ers, after trailing early here against the Suns, have come up with 32 points for a 5-point lead against the Suns.
Now, the Suns have a lot of points there, considering the type of defense that the Sixers have shown tonight.
Well, they got off to the early start, I think, and then from that point, they really came on pretty good with their defense to limit them. And you see the first quarter statistics. Field goal percentage, the Sixers finishing with 58, 52 for the Suns, and free throws not the greatest for the Sixers.
Now, the Sixers normally, I think over the season, the teams only shoot 26% against it. They keep the teams shooting less than 50%.
Well, they're having trouble shooting themselves over 50% as you look at the scoring leaders, because they've only shot over 50% one time in the game so far this season. And Billy said that's been a problem. They've not executed real well and gotten good shots, and they're really not into a groove as far as he's concerned offensively. But it's the defense that has won for them, and 2 of the 3 games they lost, Billy felt it was the defense's fault for losing the games. But he admitted that Boston outplayed them. They must have played real well if he admitted that, huh? Edwards, tough shot, falling to the left. 8 for Edwards. Holton and Macy have been in the entire game as Bobby Jones throws it and Moses can't handle it. Out of bounds. Van Holton gets called for traveling.
Yeah, he had made up his mind what he was going to do before he got the ball.
Excuse me, that's
Rod
Foster, not Holton. Rod Foster, who came in for Holton.
Yeah, he made up his mind what he was going to do before he got the ball, and the play wasn't there.
Foster,
Andrew Toney here bringing the ball up is a very difficult guard to play against because the guys have a chance to get injured a little bit playing against him, or at least a lot of bruises anyway.
Moses loses the ball out of bounds. Of course, Holton, Sanders, and Rod Foster were all teammates at UCLA, so we got quite a UCLA connection here. Toney goes to the bench, and Sadell Freet is into the game.
And he gets his first foul.
Didn't take long.
Sadell Freet is first team foul.
Greek from West Virginia Tech. Second year in the league.
Thumbs up.
You know, in his first game, Threet's first game as a pro, Bill, he scored all 10 of the 76ers points in an overtime win over Boston. That's a pretty nice way to start off your career against a tough team like Boston also. Edwards, 9 points. Well, they haven't lost much with bringing Edwards in offensively. Between he and Adams, they've got 22 points. Last touch by the 76ers.
John McLeod is having to make a lot of adjustments because of these injuries. You know, when you miss a Walter Davis for a whole year or just about, it's very...
5 seconds.
5 seconds. When you miss a Walter Davis for that much time, then it really gotta hurt you.
Well, Maurice Lucas wasn't here either, and they got off to a 5-0 start, which is the best in their history.
But they need those two guys, I can tell you that.
Yes, they definitely do. They've got one back, and hopefully Walter Davis will overcome his injury and be back. First team foul against Foster. First team foul it was, and the first foul against Foster. That was fading away. Barkley faded away on that shot, had no chance. Gets it back, goes to the basket strong, just knocks Nance out of the way, gets his own rebound and puts it in, and the crowd does not like it.
Well, I think that was Nance that kind of moved out of the way when he came in there. Let's watch, take a look at Barkley and Nance here. Here comes Barkley here. Yes, that was a foul. And he said, well, since I'm turning around, I guess I'll put it in.
And we've got a foul on the board.
Along the baseline, those guys sending those picks along the paint there in the box there, they're moving them a little bit.
That was Clint Richardson picking up the offensive foul. Macy. Johnson moves into the game for the Sixers. Malone makes them miss the shot. Threet gets his own rebound. Barkley from 18. That time he didn't fade back. 8 points for Charles Barkley. Latest college ball, Auburn. Pittman makes a horrible pass, threw it right into the arms of Threet. 3-on-1 break. Bobby Jones over Pittman.
Another dunk shot off of the defense. Good defense again by Philadelphia. They keep their hands active and in the passing lanes, and they've come up with some real good defensive plays this first half.
And they've jumped out to an 8-point lead. They've done it mainly with their defense. John McLeod does not like what his team is doing, and he wants to have a talk about it. Let's take a look at the NBA standings. First in the Atlantic Division, it's Boston being chased by Philadelphia. Boston's won 4 games in a row. You see, Washington was won 7 games in a row after getting off to a slow 2-5 start, so keep an eye on that Washington ball club. In the Central Division, Milwaukee leading over Chicago. Chicago got brought down back to earth by Boston and Philadelphia last week when they lost both of those games. They've lost 4 games in a row. You see Detroit in the rest of the standings, and in the Midwest, Houston's still really hot, but Denver, the most surprising team in the Midwest. And we'll take a look at the Pacific Division with the LA Lakers finding their groove. They're doing a real fine job right now. They've won 6 games in a row and are heading up the division in the Pacific. And we have a foul quickly on Clint Richardson, his second. And there are the 2 injured players we talked about at the start of the game. Walter Davis on the left, Rick Roby on the right, here cheering their teammates on. Into the game, Jay Humphries, first-round draft pick for the Suns. Foster from 18. Rod Foster, his first 2.
Good pass from James Edwards because he got a double team, which Philadelphia will do. And then he took advantage of it, giving Foster the open shot.
Richardson can't get it to go. Tipped in by James Johnson. Oh, Edwards, but we give it to Clint Johnson. Edwards Kicks it to Foster. 2 in a row for Foster. That one was from a long way, just inside the three-point area. 4 points for Rod. The two men with 1 year experience, Foster and Freak, going against one another. Inside is to Johnson. Can't get the drop. Barkley comes up with the rebound, gets the foul against Pittman and scores. 10 points for Charles Barkley.
He gets real good position in there. There, he knocks the ball loose, keeps it up, keeps his head up, gives a couple of fakes. There's a foul. Nice soft release.
Pittman kind of leaned into him a little bit. He was smart enough to make the contact. Nice play by Barkley. Julius Erving back in the game for the Sixers. Bobby Jones to the bench. 9-point lead by the Sixers. 8 minutes coming up to go here in the first half. Inside, they try to go to Nance.
Julius again trying to knock the ball loose. He let Nance get too good a position down low. If you do that, you're in trouble.
Alvin Adams back. And Charles Pittman goes out. So John McLeod going with both Edwards and Adams. And Nance, very big front line. That's Alvin Adams. Fakes out Barkley, and the body foul by Barkley. He hit Adams down low with the body.
There was no way the ref was going to miss that push. Because when a guy that strong, when he pushes you so far, even if it's just a little slight push, that you got to notice it.
Good look, Alvin Adams, who played for John McLeod at Oklahoma. 14 points now for Alvin. His first 2 points, make it 15 of this second period. Went to the bench with 2 fouls in the first period. Freak gets it to Barkley. Barkley makes good contact with Edwards and draws the foul. He wanted that one to drop. Maurice Cheeks is coming back in, and Richardson will go to the bench.
Let's take a look at it. Here's the move in there. Left-handed. Real good body control. Made good touch. He almost made that, too.
Well, he was good anticipation of the fact that he knew contact was coming as Edwards was up in the air, and he moved it to the left hand. It's 12 points for Charles. And that's one thing that Billy talked about. You see that graphic. He had 8 of his 9 rebounds against Indiana. See Charles Jones into the game for Phoenix. And Billy said that one thing he wants to get him to do is rebound a little bit more defensively also. But Billy did say that his team is rebounding much better on the offensive boards than before, but they haven't converted a high enough percentage. They've got 25 rebounds, offensive rebounds in one game, and only got something like 13 points off them. 9-point lead for the Sixers. Suns into the set offense. Nance against the Doctor. 10 for Nance.
Now you see while Julius was knocking the ball away, or trying to knock it away.
Barkley. Good pass to Johnson. Good fake. Got both guys into the club.
That was a good pass Barkley made when he threw the double team from the weak side.
When you go to double.
Freak knocks it out of bounds.
And then Philadelphia defense there. They're pressuring the ball and playing the passing lanes very well.
Clem Johnson doing a good job for Moses. He's got 4 points. Foster with a very tough shot. Gets his own rebound after knocking Freak down. That won't go, and the Doctor comes up with the rebound. The Suns get back, but Barkley is the trailer, and Jones makes the block. But Alvin Adams is going to get the foul, I think.
Here's a play here. It's blocked from the weak side there. But the foul is on Alvin Adams.
And 3 on Adams. Charles Barkley being very offensive-minded here this evening. We've got substitutions coming right into the game for the Suns after this free throw. It'll be Alvin Scott and Maurice Lucas, and Nance and Alvin Adams will go to the bench. As Maurice said he's really not in top shape yet after having missed all of training camp, holding out. And that John McLeod has changed a lot of the plays, and so he's really not totally familiar with the offense either. see Humphreys.
Because of changing personnel, John McLeod feels he has to do some things a little different than he's done before.
Scott from 19. Barkley gets called for swinging his elbows. He's a little upset because he had gotten pushed off by Scott prior to that.
Let's see what it looks like up close. He gets the ball. Unfortunately, no one was real close.
Moses Malone into the game. Barkley goes out. Billy Cunningham wants to let him cool down just a bit. He did a fine job. Rookie Humphreys against the experienced Cheeks.
Now, Philadelphia's doing a very good job of making Phoenix take bad shots because of the way they're executing their offense. Their defense is really throwing their timing off.
Well, Alvin Scott got a good offensive rebound on the Foster miss, and the ball was knocked out of bounds by Philadelphia. John McLeod is telling the officials what he thinks of their job so far. I think they're doing a pretty good job, actually. Jones tries to get it into Scott, who cut to the basket. Bounce pass would have worked better. Malone to Cheeks. Cheeks to Joe. No, Jones was there. A good pass by Cheeks. Faked me out. Even Irving to Johnson, and a foul. I thought for sure Maurice was going to shoot that ball.
That's a good pass, and I think he might have surprised Julius with it even.
That's Foster's second foul and the fifth foul against his Suns.
And another fast break opportunity for the Sixers as a result of their excellent half-court defense.
And that's got to make Billy very pleased, because we have mentioned that that's what he feels keys his team's offense. When they play the good defense and their concentration is there and they create those turnovers and make the other team take tough shots, that they're a much better team on the offensive end. That's 6 points for Clem Johnson and a 13-point Sixer lead with 5:50 to go here in the second period. And the Suns have got to get a couple of good shots and a couple of baskets. Humphreys against Cheeks. Malone. Cheeks with Humphreys all over him. Julius passes it inside, but no one was there. Maurice Lucas gets it to Humphreys, who gets it to Scott, who kicks it back out, and Foster can't save it. It'll be Sixer ball.
Sixers getting back great on defense. That was a nice long pass by Maurice Lucas. There's the pass to Alvin Scott. He tried to hit someone, but it's too late.
Yeah, Foster made a nice effort diving out of bounds. We have Macy and Holton back into the game for the Suns. Good pass on a cut to three to went to the hole by Irving. Can't get it to drop. Lucas with the rebound. Macy to Jones. Charles Jones, second round choice this year for the Suns out of Louisville. And we got a push inside on Alvin Scott, I believe.
45 pushes.
No, that's not on Scott. I'm sorry, Clement Johnson.
I think Scott might have pushed.
I thought Scott pushed. I thought he was going to call an offensive foul, but sometimes they get the second one.
Always.
I thought I saw Scott pushing. Thank you, Bill. I thought maybe I was seeing things.
No, he gave a good push.
That's also penalty now against the Sixers. Clem Johnson's first foul. And another foul on Clem Johnson is Charles Jones made a great offensive rebound that time on the missed free throw. So the Suns will get two more opportunities to get the 2 points that they didn't get. They need these free throws. That's 3 in a row. They've missed.
Now that's another gray hair in John McLeod's head.
Well, it's only 11 points now that the Suns have scored. They had 27 in the first period. They only have 38 now. 2 more missed free throws in 7 minutes of play. Sixers defense is doing a fine job against the Suns. John McLeod does not want to see his team come up with 4 losses in a row. Triple team on Malone. He kicks it out. Cheeks goes back into him. It's a tough shot for Moses, but he hit it.
You know, the first time I saw him shoot that shot, I thought it was a tough shot. After I watched him shooting for a couple of years, it's not a tough shot for him anymore, I don't believe.
15-point lead, the biggest lead of the game for the 76ers. 4:30 to go here in the second period. The Suns need to come up with something. Good cut inside to Scott, and the foul by Julius. That'll be his third foul.
An excellent pass by Maurice Lucas, but the Sixers are not letting the Suns run their offense.
Well, Bobby Jones is going to come in for Julius, so we'll take a look at that last play. There's a cut inside. Scott got wide open. Julius a little bit late. It was a good pass. Now, those are the kind of plays that the Suns, I feel, are really noted for. The good cuts going to the basket, getting it inside. They haven't gotten many of those, as you pointed out, Bill, and the Sixers have been able to keep them on the perimeter, forcing them to make some extra passes, and they've been picking them off.
See, the Suns' problem with the Sixers is the Suns are not a good one-on-one make-your-own-shot team. They rely on running off the picks and coming out and hitting the open man.
Especially when Walter Davis is out. He's probably the best at being able to do that.
And without him, they don't have a real good one-on-one player, except maybe Larry Nance.
Sixers by 13. Malone with Lucas. Malone with the same tough shot. And Maurice Cheeks comes up with the offensive rebound. Billy
You work to
Cunningham
get a
calling
guy,
out a play.
you get Clement Johnson and Bobby Jones off the boards, and Maurice Cheeks comes up with the offensive board.
Street misses. Jones with the rebound. Gets it out to Holton. Holton inside. Back out to Holton. Good ball movement. Jones tipped it. Keeps it alive. Holton and deep sweeps and crashed right into it. And it's going to be the Suns ball.
A little incidental contact. Let's take a look at it and see. There goes the long bounce out there, and there goes two guys. There they go.
Ouch. Billy Cunningham with a 13-point lead for his 76ers has called a timeout with 3:41 to go here in the second period. Rick Barry back with Bill Russell, and then we want to remind you that at the conclusion of the game, Bill and I are going to be selecting the Light Beer Most Valuable Player of the game, and in conjunction with that award, Turner Broadcasting and Light Beer Miller are going to present a check for $500 to the National Multiple Sclerosis Foundation in that player's name. And Jack Hughes has another foul against Clement Jones. It's his third. Clement Johnson, excuse me. Jones goes to the free throw line. Jones picked 36th in the draft. Barkley back into the game. Johnson goes to the bench. That was the first point of the game for Jones. And as you can see, needs a little work on his free throw technique. 12-point Sixer lead, 3:25 to go here in the first half. Maurice with a great spin move, just lost Kyle Macy and lays it in off the glass.
Well, what he did, he's picked like he's going to run by the pick.
And Freet with good defense, pressuring Holton. The Suns can't get it in, are forced to call a timeout. John McLeod got his team gathered out there. This program is authorized under the rights granted by the National Basketball Association solely for the entertainment of our audience, and any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the National Basketball Association is prohibited. The announcers for this game have been selected with the approval of the National Basketball Association. Jack McMahon, you see to the left of Billy Cunningham, his assistant. Here's the rebounding totals in the second period. The Sixers dominating 21-16 overall. Barkley's got 8 rebounds for the Sixers. And again, pressure by the 76ers. Freet against Holton. Looking inside to Nance. Jones got him covered well. Now a good pass to Lucas, who gets Nance cutting, and he was off balance and can't get it to drop. Jones has the rebound, and Threet penetrates to Malone. Bobby Jones. Cheeks. And Cheeks is called for traveling. Andrew Toney coming in. And Sedale Threet to the bench.
Now, John McLeod expected a lot of presses from the Sixers, so he had a lot of plays set up just in case. And
good pass inside to Jones by Lucas. And again, those are the kind of plays that John McLeod has designed for his offense to run, and they have not been that successful at getting them. It came at an opportune time. They cut that Sixer lead to 12. They need to get more plays like that if they want to get in this game and have a chance of beating these 76ers. One of the best defensive teams in the league. Jones has it knocked away by Nance. Lucas with a long pass to Nance. Great hands. Kicks it back to Holton, who saves it. Forces it up inside and scores over 4 76ers. Great effort on the part of Larry Nance and Holton.
He might have hurt something a little bit. It looks like he may have, Nance may have hurt his ankle a little bit.
Toney. Lucas with the rebound. Macy gets it to Holton. 4 Sixers are back. But Jones sneaks inside the baseline. They never saw him.
And that was a result of a real first-class outlet pass by Maurice Lucas. And Macy got the ball and run and looked up court and got the ball up there.
And a 20-second timeout by Billy Cunningham because he does not like what he sees with the Suns being able to get those quick inside baskets. That's not what he has his defense designed to be allowing.
Well, you know that sometimes with the type of defense that the Sixers play, they depend on each other so much to help out because they play hard-nosed defense, and when you play hard-nosed man-to-man defense, you get beat sometimes. And the key is to help. And if you're off time on your help, then the defense completely breaks down. And the harder you work, the worse it results for you. So sometimes they'll have lapses like that. But it's not because they're not working hard at defense.
I think that last time that Jones they didn't realize that Jones was outside wide. He kind of snuck in between the two men. Did you see the overall record for Philadelphia? And Billy said they're actually playing better on the road. They're 3-2 at home and 5-1 on the road as Jones takes it strong to the basket. The dunk won't go. At Barkley's there. It's blocked by Nance and a jump ball.
Nice block by Larry Nance.
So a big defensive effort by the Suns. They're only down by 8 now, and this should be an interesting jump off. I would expect Nance to control. Shows you how much I know. Bobby Jones gets it to Malone, who misses, and Jones comes up with the loose ball. Holton has Nance open. He elects not to throw it. Inside to Nance from Macy. Tough move over Malone.
That's what I mean by he's one of the few players on the team that has a great one-on-one move.
12 for Nance.
Can he get his own shot?
55 seconds to go here in the half. Jones misses, and the other Jones, Charles, comes down with the rebound. Chance to cut the lead to 4 with 45 seconds to go here in the first half. Inside to Nance from Lucas. Great play. And all of a sudden, the Suns have turned this game around by getting their inside game going, and we've had a little bit of a lapse on the Philadelphia defense. 14 points for Larry Nance. 30 seconds coming up to go in the first half. Bad shot by Toney. He forced that one up over Holton. Nance with the rebound. Here comes Macy. Macy's got Holton open on the side from the baseline, 16 feet. Jones with the rebound. Here comes Cheeks. 15 seconds to go. As you see the clock counting down to the top of your screen. Smart move by Cheeks. Hold that for the last shot. Try to go into the locker room with a 6-point lead. And we've got a foul by Macy. Now, a lot of inexperienced players might have gone down and tried to force a quick shot up, but Cheeks was smart enough to see that there wasn't an easy layup opportunity, pulled it back out, and now he'll get a chance to go to the free throw line as Sedale Threet comes in for Toney.
Well, your point guard has to know how much time is left and the foul situation and everything at all times.
I'm not really rooting for anybody, but when I opened up my mouth at the start of the show and said we're not going to have a turkey here, I was getting a little worried the way the Sixers were playing. Thought we were going to have Thanksgiving all over again, but the Suns have come back. Trailing now only by 6 points. Plenty of time. 5. 4. You see it down. Nance with the long jumper. Jones tips it again, and no basket.
Well, they had a lot of shots at that.
But a great effort by the Phoenix Suns as they come back after trailing by as much as 15 points to cut the Sixer lead to 6 points at the end of the first half. A great game, the most exciting basketball game that I have ever seen. Now stay tuned for the Prudential Sports Update with Gary Miller. And here are the first half statistics. Joe, anything of any great significance that you can see? I don't think the steals, of course, the Sixers, their defense early in the game and through the first part of the second quarter, those steals were helping them get their defense going, but then the Suns really seem to turn things around.
And I think the major difference has been, overall, has been their free throw shooting.
See, the Suns moving the ball well, 17 assists to 10 for the 76ers, and that was indicative of the way they got that ball inside very quickly. Macy doing an outstanding job.
Well, the Sixer defense depends on timing, help from the weak side, switching, talking, and the Suns were able to the last part of the second quarter to get to it.
And you saw the breakdown of the scoring. Charles Barkley having a big game for the Sixers in the first half. We'll run down the starting lineups here in the second half in a moment as Lucas goes in strong against Malone and gets it to drop. That's Lucas, Nance, Holton, Adams, and Macy. And it'll be Cheeks, Williams, Malone, Tony, and the Doctor. Same starting lineups for both ball clubs. Backdoor play to Williams, and he can't get it to drop in. Tony with the rebound, tipped by Williams. Malone tries to get it, but Adams controls. Here comes Holton, drives through both players. Williams with the rebound. A good move by Holton. Tony as Lucas went for the steal. Williams keeps it alive. That time, Nance gets the foul. Good hustle by Sam Williams. Sam hurt his left elbow.
Now here's the hustle by both big men. Yeah, Sam Williams knocks the ball loose, comes up with it, and there's the foul by Nance right there.
Larry actually made a good block, but he had his left hand right on the top of Sam's shoulder to give himself a little extra elevation. Williams has not scored in the game. That's his first point.
He had a lot of bad luck the first half when he got there. Nothing went right for him. He was working hard, but coming up empty every time.
And he had a bad break on that lob pass from Julius. He missed 2 dunks already in this game. But you have to hang in there. You can't give up.
Now this is a very important time of the game for the Suns because they can't let Philadelphia get out off in a big one of those quick 10-2 or 8-2 spurts. They've got to get a good shot every time down.
Shot clock is down to 6. Macy from just inside the 3-point range. Macy with his first 2 points of the game. Cheeks on the good penetration. Lucas comes up with the rebound. Cheeks hounding Macy. Lucas to Nance. What a great play by Larry Nance. A 360 turnaround dunk with the left hand. 2 points, Sixer lead.
And maybe next time he'll look even.
And that's why he was the dunk champion in the NBA. Inside to Malone, who was fronted by Lucas and blocked by Larry Nance. Lucas gets the rebound. Here comes Holton. The Sixers are back. Nice quick pass inside to Adams. He's got an opening. Basket and a foul by Williams. And we've got a tie game. And the Suns have a chance to take the lead for the first time since the early moments of the first period when they got a 5-point lead.
Now here's the play with Adams. And there's the foul right there. Foul him on the wrong hand.
And again, they're getting inside that Philadelphia defense. This is the 5th tie of the ball game. Now broken. We are tied at 2, 4, 6, 10, and 59. Tony from 12 on the baseline. Andrew Tony with his 8th point.
And he's still limping a little bit.
Holton on a good cut to the basket. Nobody picks him up, and he doesn't get the layup.
And that was a great pass by Maurice Lucas.
Lucas has made some fine passes here this evening. Irving with the rebound. Takes it up, gets it to Williams. Looking inside to Malone. He and Maurice are battling real good in there. Oh, Moses is going to get the offensive foul. Got a little frustrated.
Well, there are two guys that know how to push. It doesn't matter who's bad luck when the referee catches.
That's right. But if they did that out in the street, they get arrested for assault. Maurice Lucas, 4 points.
He only has 4 points, but he's playing excellent basketball
Yes,
tonight.
he is. Moses only has 6 points in the game. He's doing a good job defensively, passing the ball exceptionally well. The Sixers in their set offense. The Doctor against Nance. Not even close. Malone with the offensive rebound, and that's what he does so well.
Just as we said, that Lucas doing a good job on him. There he comes.
8 points for Moses. Adams against Williams. Loses the ball. Good hustle. Adams comes up with it. Oh, he almost got the shot off. Williams blocks it. Nance again.
Well, great hustle by Alvin Adams. Kept the ball alive. And they came up with 2 points as a result. Also a great athletic basket by Larry Nance.
Yes, sir. He hit that floor and sprung right back up. 18 points for Larry Nance, and the Suns are up by 1. 8 minutes coming up to go here in the third period. There's a double team. Good cut by Cheeks in the foul. No, he called an offensive foul against Maurice Cheeks. He used the right arm to push off, I guess.
The big guys will make you do that.
Let's see.
Here's the play here. There goes Cheeks. There's the push-off right there.
Well, push off after the contact, but that's okay. What the official saw as Holton misses from the baseline. Williams gets the rebound. Tony. To Cheeks. To Julius. 14 for the Doctor.
And that's what the Sixers do so well. They can get you can make a bad play, and before you can say, uh-oh, they've got 2 points.
Again, the defense did it. They played good defense, forced a missed shot, kicked it out, got their break going, and they back into the lead, but this time only by 1. Yes, and we take a look at the 2 huddles of the respective ball clubs with now a very close ball game, and here's where the coaching strategy will come into play. One interesting thing about the Sixers, Matt Guokas, the assistant coach, one of the assistant coaches, said that Billy Cunningham is so astute at knowing this ball club that he's like 8 to 10 minutes ahead as far as substitutions go. And I talked to Billy and said, well, why is that, Billy? He said, well, I've been with this club so long and I know the personnel so well, I can tell based on how my team's playing and what the other team is doing as to whether or not I need to make substitutions or whether or not I can blow a team out and I'll keep my starters in there a little bit longer. And he said it just works easy when you've got that kind of knowledge of your team. Nance on a great move, and again the penetration by the Suns is really hurting the Philadelphia 76ers. Now a little pressure by the Suns.
McLeod has got his team playing very strong since the middle of the second quarter.
Julius from 18. Williams keeps it alive. Tipped by Macy, goes out to Nance. Nance with 20 points in the game to Macy. He's open just inside the three-point area. Macy with 4 points, and the Suns are up by 3. 7 minutes to go here in the third period.
Well, the Suns picked up their their defense in the middle of the second quarter, and they've had control of the tempo of the game ever since. And that's the reason they were able to come back and to play head-to-head with the Sixers right now.
Lucas. Moses battling inside. Tony goes to Williams. Nance forces them to miss it. Rebound by Lucas to Adams. Sixers back very well. Good transition by the Sixers. Adams. Malone with the block. And Malone with the rebound and the foul by Adams. That will hurt. That's Alvin Adams' 4th personal foul. And Charles Barkley is into the game. Williams to the bench.
Rick, they came on a fast break, and 5 Sixers were back with only 3 of the Phoenix Suns on the offense. And that's when you're playing the real good transition game from offense to defense, when you can get back like that.
James Edwards is going to come in for the Phoenix Suns for Adams. That's Tony. Holton on him, looking inside to Malone. They get it out to Barkley, who fell away again from 18 feet.
Now that's good screening out. The ball actually bounced on the floor.
Lucas and a goaltending call by Barkley. 6 points.
Now here's your play here. Let's see. There goes Lucas up. Ball that is. Yes, he's on the way down. Good call.
And the Suns have spurted out to a 5-point lead with 6:09 to go here in the third period. Here at the Arizona Veterans Memorial Coliseum. Sorry for laughing. The gorilla, the mascot of the Suns, was out there pumping in 3-point shots, made about 3 in a row, and came by here to get a little offer of congratulations from Bill and myself. They could use his shooting. I mean, he's a great outside shooter, that gorilla. Let's see what Billy Cunningham has come up for his 76ers to try and get themselves back in control of this game. They led by 15 in the middle of the second period. Now trail by 5. Malone. That's a foul on James Edwards. He grabbed Barkley, who had inside position, Bill, and just pulled him out of the way.
And pulling Barkley out of the way takes quite a yank. Let's see if we can see that. That's a shot by Moses.
Left side of your screen. He had his arm. He had his arm hooked, and he just pulled him out of your picture on the lower left part.
Good defense by Maurice Lucas on that play because Moses had him blocked out for the lob pass.
And Maurice against Barkley. Gets him in the air. Tough off-balance shot. He wanted to draw the foul, and Nance comes over the back of Moses Malone. Phoenix has run off 19-8 against the Sixers so far in this period.
You know, you might think that's a bad shot, which it was, but when you're going good, you got to believe that you can make everything.
I think he also felt he was trying to draw the foul. Julius, not even close again. Moses with the offensive rebound and the basket and the foul. What a workhorse.
He has great timing because most of his rebounds, he doesn't jump that high for the rebound, but he has great timing and that's set up by his great positioning.
And great upper body strength. 10 points for Moses. Sixers have cut it to 2.
And they're going to pressure the ball here.
Tony against Holton. Cheeks came over to shut off the lane. Holton on the post up inside. Nobody comes to help out.
Another excellent pass by Maurice Lucas. He's having a great passing night.
Michael Holton with 4 points. Suns by 4. Julius from 17. Julius having a tough time on the outside shot. Malone with another offensive rebound and basket. And Lucas is very upset with the official. Felt he got pushed. The technical foul. Too much. Can't give the official that much and take it from one who knows, Bill.
Well, he thought he'd give him one more try. You see what happens? That fine line you have to walk.
Yeah, well, it's a costly fine line.
Well, you can't tell yet because if you got your point over, you're working for the next one, not the one that just passed.
As Julius sinks the technical free throw, Sadal Freak comes into the game. Cheeks will go to the bench. Well, we'll see if Moses gets called for any pushing fouls against Maurice, okay? We'll see if the technical is really worth it. 1 point Sun lead. 4:32 to go here in this third period. That was a good try by Freed. He tried to get the official to give him the ball when the Suns had possession of it. Didn't work. Nice try, though, Sadal. Not bad.
What's the worst the referee can say to you? It's the other team's ball.
Edwards, bad pass. Cheeks. And a great pass to the doctor, and no basket. Holton commits the foul. Actually, a good foul in that case because that was a short 2 points, it seemed like, for Julius.
Now here's a fast break here. Cheeks run the ball. He runs a fast break as well as anyone. He makes a good pass. And there's the foul.
16 for Julius. But his outside shooting has been off. He really hasn't been that close in his outside shooting. Julius has played much better in the last 3-4 games for the Sixers than he did at the start of the season. The last 3 or 4 games he's been averaging over 20. There's the story, a 1-point 76er lead. 4:10 to go in the third period. The Suns running their set offense to John McLeod, a set for them. A lot of picks and screens. Nance against Julius. Shot clock down to 6. Lucas on Barkley. Shot clock to 4. Taken away by Cheeks with a great hands. 3-on-2 break. Cheeks all the way.
That's that pressure defense again by the Philadelphia 76ers.
Maurice with 12.
And what makes this team so good defensively, they know each other defensively so well that they cover. When you force a guy to go one way, there's a guy there to help you out just in case he goes and he beats you that way. And there they go, almost again.
Cheeks with the hands, knocked it away, but Nance comes up with it, and we've got a foul. That basket will not count.
But that pressure defense is really disrupting the Suns' offensive setup.
Freak with the foul. 2 team fouls against the Sixers. The Suns are in the penalty. Three-pointer. Kyle Macy. That's 7 points for Kyle.
Let's see you disrupt this, he said.
Well, he's got 13 assists in the ball game. He only took 1 shot and missed that in the first half, but done a great job passing the ball and directing John McLeod's offense. Now he's starting to score. Barkley. Back to Cheeks. Shot clock is down to 8. Julius still can't find the range. Barkley with the offensive board and the basket. 17 to Charles Barkley.
Great offensive position. Might have pushed a little bit.
And his first 2 points of the second half. Suns with a chance to tie the game. Julius with the steal on the bad pass by Holton. Here comes Freet. Freet against Holton. He finds Cheeks open, who hits Malone from about 12.
And every time the Suns made a mistake, they've had to pay.
Well, that's the one thing that makes the Sixer team so tough. They'll end the good teams like Boston, like Los Angeles. They'll play well, and then they'll get into a little bit of a lull, and then all of a sudden they turn that defense back on, and it creates opportunities like this. The good defense, the tough pass, and they turn that into a breakdown the other end and an easy basket. How do you get a team to do that?
Well, you have to convince them that if you work hard, and that's what defense is, just plain hard work. You got to know what you're doing, but it's really hard work. And you convince them that they've got to play defense, and if you play defense, you're in every ball game, no matter what you shoot. And let's take a look at this steal by Maurice Cheeks. Now, right here, he comes over the double team, right in there, knocks the ball loose, and there they go again on another fast break.
You see, that's excellent team defense, though, Bill. We talk about so much, is that when he saw the man was going to penetrate past the initial line of defense, he dropped off of his man to shut the lane off, and not only did he shut it off, he came up with a great steal.
Well, that's what the thing I was talking about. Defensive man, I think it's Barkley, made the offensive man reverse. And when he reversed, Cheeks shot the gap and met him halfway in his turn from the blind side. And that's when you get to know your teammates, and that's why defense is so much harder to coordinate than offense. If you can get a team to learn to play together and get the correct timing defensively, that's harder to do than it is to run the offense. But it also pays off for you so much better because you don't even have to shoot a very high percentage to stay in the ball game. You can shoot 40 to 45% and still be in the ball game, which Sixers have done most of the year.
And don't forget that Saturday it's SEC college football. Mississippi State versus Ole Miss. That's noon Eastern time at 11 o'clock a.m. Central time. Be there for that live SEC college football action. That's here on the Superstation. We've got the Suns up by 2 points there, 75-73. Chance to increase that lead. Or is it? Well, Macy. Cheeks made him miss that shot. Good defense by Cheeks. Barkley has it taken away by Foster. A good hustle. Macy gets the ball now back for the Suns. Sees Moses, pulls it back. Foster with a three-pointer. Rod Foster, 7 points. 76ers, 79-78. I misread the scoreboard on that last score. Sorry. Suns back into the ball game. Julius has it knocked away by Macy. Foster to Macy. Nance. Edwards from 15. And the Suns go back ahead by 1 with 1:35 to go here in the third period.
And they're moving that ball really well.
Edwards with 11 points. Street looking inside for Moses. And Macy with the good hands again in the steal. Holton inside to Pittman, who entered the ball game in that last timeout. We got a foul. That's Threet. Sedell Threet as Bobby Jones comes into the ball game.
Bobby Jones replacing Julius Erving in the 76ers lineup. Sun ball.
Foster all alone against Threet. Over to help out is Barkley, and he knocks it out of bounds. Good help by Charles Barkley, and we've got Alvin Scott coming in for Phoenix.
And Billy Cunningham said Charles Barkley is really outstanding defensively when he can come from the weak side. So he can block the shots on almost anyone.
Perfect example that time. Macy gets it to Scott. Edwards over Malone. Bobby Jones clears for the Sixers, and here comes Maurice Cheeks. That time the Suns are back. Maurice Cheeks.
Just when you think he's getting ready to look for passes and not going to shoot anymore, he burns you.
He's an excellent shooter from 18 feet in. You can't give him the open shot, but he is an unselfish player. Billy just loves the way that Maurice Cheeks plays both ends of the court. Good cut by Scott. It was a double team, and Scott made a good move. Fouls on Fouls on Bobby Jones.
Pass the ball and move toward the basket. Give and go. Classic basketball.
Scott to the line. That's the penalty now, both teams. And they're tied again. 6th time in the game. Or 7th time. 7th tie of the game. 29 seconds to go. Third period. Billy Cunningham called out of play. Cheeks setting it up for the Sixers. Foster in the game on Cheeks. Sedell Threet couldn't hold on to that pass from Cheeks. And now it'll be the Suns getting the last shot here in this third period. 12 seconds. Down to 7. Edwards helping out is Barkley, and he made a good play because Edwards traveled with the ball. There's 3 seconds to go. Shot clock stops, remember. Now it's counting down. Moses with a three-pointer. Barkley tries to get it up, but it will not go. So a very evenly played third period here, and the Suns come out on top. They're leading the 76ers by 1 as we head into the final period of play here at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Phoenix, Arizona. The last period here, start of the fourth period. Sixers, who had a 15-point lead at one point in the second period, find themselves trailing the Suns by 1. Foster all over Threet. Jones. Clint Richardson's into the game now for the Sixers. Malone as the shot clock was at 6. Moses, 17.
The Suns have buried their defense. Pressure sometimes and no pressure other time, and take it over, control the tempo of the game. But the Sixers are so tough defensively. They're forcing them way outside.
Well, when they stop those penetrations to the basket, we've got a foul on that block.
Probably on Clint Richardson.
Clint Richardson crashing through Edwards. 3 fouls on Clint. Almost didn't get it in 5 seconds. That's Alvin Scott with plenty of time on the clock. He took a bad shot in that situation. Pittman comes up with the offensive rebound over Barkley. Scott can't hold it underneath. Richardson's got Threet open underneath. He takes it in strong against Edwards, who makes a good block. Jones saves it back out to Richardson. Barkley Good fake to lose Edwards. Pittman with the block. And Foster comes up with the loose ball. Jay Humphries is getting ready to come in for Phoenix. Edwards from 15 feet. And the Suns go back on top. 13 for James Edwards.
He sees some good defensive plays. Weak side help back there to block that last shot.
Barkley inside to Malone. Blocked by Edwards. Malone loses it. Macy saves it. Knocks it off of Malone. It'll be Suns ball.
Let's take a look at Edwards on the block here.
Great timing by Edwards. He waited till the ball was committed. Jones with good hustle.
Now there's the... Now, there's the block right there. Good block.
So two good blocks. One by Pittman, one by Edwards. And the Suns come up with the out-of-bounds ball on a good hustle play by Macy as they pass inside to Pittman. Bobby Jones comes over and gets the block. The fans...
That's what I mean by the help out. You've got to be able to realize what's going on the weak side and be ready to help. And Bobby Jones has been doing that for a number of years.
Well, the key to success is good team defense. Shot clock is down. Inside of 5, we've got an offensive foul on Pittman. Charles Pittman gets his third foul. Pittman played his college ball at University of Maryland. He was an 82 third-round choice. Signed as a free agent. Tony just inside the three-point area. Tony with 10
Tony
points.
is dangerous in the locker room.
Humphries to Edwards. Johnson's in from Malone. And the block by Jones and Barkley both. Tony. Pittman fell. Honestly, Humphries fell down, but he did not touch the ball. Looked like he did.
Went off of Clint Richardson. Because the referee said that's the only opinion that really counts.
That's true. Clem Johnson giving Moses a rest on the bench, battling Edwards, and we've got an offensive foul again, this time again on Pittman. Larry Nance is coming back in, and Alvin Scott going to the bench, and Charles Jones is also coming in.
What happens on those moving picks is you set a pick the way you're supposed to, and the defense looks like they're going to beat it, and there's a tendency to say, well, I'll lean in a little bit and make sure I set the pick where I'm supposed to.
What you do is you should hold your ground, and it's up to the offensive man to run his man off of you. It's his responsibility in that situation. Good give and go that time on the screen, but Johnson, the pass by Tony, doesn't drop, though. Nance with the rebound. Humphries taking it up the court for the Suns. All the way over Jones, and Barkley has scored. First 2 points of the game for Humphries.
And what he did, he went in the middle while the Sixers were setting up their defense. And when they turned around, it was too late.
Jack Nice spots another foul. It's on Foster. 3 fouls on Foster.
Andrew Tony will make you foul him. He's so tough. That first step of his is just outstanding. Because he has such a good jump shot, you got to get up on him.
Clint Richardson from 17. Humphries was trying to cheat over to help on Tony, and he paid the price. First 2 points for Clint. Clint on Humphries out of the University of Colorado. First round choice, as we mentioned this year, picked 13th overall in the draft. Jones walks. So John McLeod going a lot of young people right now out in the floor for him with Jones and Humphries, Foster, and Pittman. Not a lot of experience there. Richardson. Bobby Jones can't get it. Nance pulls it down. Good pass inside to Nance, and he gets the basket, and the foul is against Bobby Jones. Nice pass by Pittman.
And another spectacular athletic move by Larry Nance. Let's take a look at that shot. There's a lob pass, and I catches it.
So Bobby went underneath him and made the contact, but he made a reverse shot with the right hand with his feet knocked out from under him. And that's a difficult thing to do because usually you're worried about falling on your head. 23 for Larry Nance, and the Suns are up by 2. Just inside of 8 minutes now to go here in the ball game. Julius getting ready to come back in for the 76ers. Glenn Johnson over Jones. That's 8 for Johnson.
The Sixers have so many strong players that they can send after you along the baseline. Cameron Johnson
And we've got
Barkley and
just under
Moses.
Well, they've got a lot of talent there, and with just under 8 minutes to go in the ball game, we've got another tie. NBA action tonight. It was Boston getting back at Washington, beating them by 18 up there in Boston. Kansas City over Indiana. Phil Johnson doing a nice job there in replace of Jack McKinney. It was New York over Detroit, and we had a misprint there, and the score is only 23, not 43. We had given the wrong score before. Golden State squeaked by Cleveland. At the half, Utah is over Houston. That's a surprise.
Well, Utah's got a player that's taller than either one of those guys from Houston. They must be surprised. You know, you turn around and look at that guy. Mark Eaton is very tall.
And Julius Erving, as I mentioned, back into the ball game for the Sixers. And Julius said that during the offseason this year, Bill, that he sat down and had a real long talk with himself, kind of, and figuring out what his priorities in life were. And he finally decided that the Sixers came first, and he wanted to be back out there playing. It's tough to give it up when you're still capable of doing well. Certainly Julius is. Alvin Adams back into the game also for the Phoenix Suns. Foster. Barkley with a great outlet to Tony. Can't quite handle it. Foster hustles. Saved by Nance. Great play by Foster. Here comes Humphries. The Sixers are back. Humphries with a great penetration. Barkley with the rebound. Team's playing with a lot of intensity. I like to see that.
And a lot of skill.
Richardson. Shot clock is down to 4 to 3. Richardson, and we've got a whistle and a 3-second violation.
3 seconds. Here's a good hustle by Rod Foster. Knocks the ball loose and saves it there. Great hustle.
And a Sixer turnover. Humphries bringing it up against Richardson. Richardson, another outstanding defender for the Sixers. Got the set play. That's a clear out. Nance and the Doc. Nance takes it into traffic, then spins to the open side, and it won't go. Lucas tries to keep it alive. Lucas reported in on that dead ball situation, but Barkley with another rebound. Charles Barkley having an outstanding game. He looks a little tired, though, Bill. Didn't get down the floor too quick that time. Breathing heavy.
Well,
he's got a lot of weight to carry.
Yes, he does.
Now he's posting up on Nance. Offensive foul. Barkley's got 15 rebounds, 7 on the offensive board, so he's done what Willie asked him. He said, get me some more defensive rebounds. He's got him 8, and he's still got 7 offensive. Plus, he's got points. Barkley's got 17 of those as well. And he's intimidated a few times, putting on a fine show here this evening. AC. Adams on the old screen and roll. Barkley's over to help out, but he picks up the foul.
When he comes over to help, there's a lot of help coming from the weak side. Take a look at this. There goes Alvin Adams to the hoop, and there he comes, and there goes Barkley.
There really wasn't a lot of contact either.
But there was no way there's going to be a three-point play from there, I can tell you that.
19 points for Alvin Adams.
He's had a good game tonight because he kept in the game the first quarter.
Already had 13 points in the first period. Can't get that one to drop. 3 points, Sun lead, 5:50 to go here in the ball game. The doctor against Nance. He had Nance out of position, and he had a hand check and picked up the foul.
See, Nance was playing him to go to his right because Doctor Notorious was going to his right. And he surprised him when he went left, and Nance hand checked him. And they
were right there, right in front of the official. Cheeks into the game for Clint Richardson. Actually, that's a smart way to play the Doc, is you try to overplay him, force him out a little bit further, because you would want him shooting the ball from 20 feet. And then once he gets it, overplay his right side, drop off a little bit and give him the left side, but anticipate that he's going to go that way, and then go and cut that off. And usually if you do that, he'll spin back into the middle, and you can anticipate that as well. Actually, in a set game, that's probably the easiest time to have to guard a great player like Julius. He's so much more difficult to defend in the open court. Julius with 19 points for the ball game. Sixers by 1. 5:35 coming up to go in the game. Macy and Barkley with a great defensive play. Anticipated beautifully. 4-on-2 play. Here comes Barkley. He lost control. Macy was there. Doc goes up, gets it knocked away. And it'll be 76er ball. Kyle Macy did a great job defensively to stop an easy 2 points.
They have to take another look at that play. There goes Barkley for the hoop. Tries, ball's loose. There's a block. And there's when it goes out.
It's Moses Malone going in, and the coaches wanted a walking violation. Both McLeod and Bianchi were up off the bench. Lucas asking for it. Look at John.
Let's see if he took any steps, little bitty step. There's a pass from Julius to Moses.
No.
Nope, he has to come down. He didn't come down. And that's another example of great strength, because he got hit pretty good shot, and he still made the basket.
And 4 fouls on Maurice Lucas. 3 team fouls against the Suns and 3 against the 76ers. Moses with 18 points now. And the Sixers are up by 4. And the Suns need a basket. Cheeks on Macy. Lucas against Barkley. Look at Cheeks over to help out. Maurice comes up short. Barkley with another rebound.
Barkley's a good rebounder. When you see guys go and get the rebounds with one hand and reach to get the rebounds, that's a good indication.
Malone inside has it knocked away and loses it off of his hand last. He's not happy.
Both teams are working hard defensively right now.
Yeah, anything inside, they're there to help. Kyle Macy's left open as Cheeks went to help out, and Kyle comes through again with his 9th point of the game, all in the second half. Only a 2-point lead. Billy Cunningham wants the timeout to get his strategy set up here for the last 4 minutes and 24 seconds of this game, and the 76ers are ahead by 2. And the gorilla has gone crazy here at the Veterans Memorial Coliseum. He really evokes quite a response.
Short trip, Rick.
Short trip. That's what's happened, isn't it, for you? Is that a gimme putt? You see the situation score-wise, and on points on the turnover so far in the game, the Sixers have gotten 24 points off of 24 turnovers by the Suns, and the Suns have gotten 17 points off of 24 turnovers by the 76ers. So that's been a difference here in the ball game. We've got Tony back into the game. It's Tony, Cheeks, Irving, Barkley, and Malone. Lucas, Adams,
interesting.
Nance,
Notice that they have
Holton, and Macy.
Barkley in there doing crunch time, as you call it. When the game's been decided.
Shot clock goes down to 6, and a turnover. Tony couldn't handle it. Quickly, Suns come up the court. Adams from 15 over Malone.
Another great pass by Maurice Lucas.
And another tie game and 21 points for Alvin Adams. Under 4 minutes to go in the ball game. 10th tie of the game. Sixers, Tony looking inside. Humphries is in the game also now for the Suns. Humphries on Tony, shot clock to 5 to 4, down to 3 to 2. Tony gets it off, and a foul by Humphries.
Now that hurts. You get it down to 2 seconds, and on a 20-foot shot, you get a foul. That's not...
And he missed. Humphries a little upset. He felt that he was just standing and had maintained his position. Tony wisely initiated the contact on that play.
Well, you got to have room to release the ball toward the basket.
You're also not supposed to jump into the guy, Bill, if he's standing there. But a lot of guys made a living doing that, like Chet Walker, remember him?
I'll never forget him. But you got to convince the referee that...
Well, that's the rookie against the veteran, so I mean, that's what happens sometimes. 2 points. Well, the Sixers is their lead as Nance makes the cut to the basket. Barkley to help out, but the foul is called on Charles Barkley.
Now, the timing was off a little bit, but that's typical of the Philadelphia defense. They really Billy Cunningham's going to let him play with 5 fouls.
Well, we looked up here on the scoreboard. It shows 4 fouls only against Barkley. So we'll have to check that out. I think we only have 4 on fouls. 14 fouls. Nance over his average for the season. Has now 24 points in this ball game. A little pressure by the Suns. Tony wide open. They've got a break to Irving. Foul by Humphries.
Now, what a lot of teams will do when you press them, when they beat the press, they're not satisfied to just beat the press. Then they attack it because they usually have either 3-on-2 or 2-on-1, and they go straight for the hoop.
And usually it's the teams that like to run that will do that. The other teams who are a little more conservative don't like the running game as much. They pull that back out and get their offense set. But not the Sixers. That's not one of those teams. That's for sure. 20 points for Julius.
You know, you were talking about how to guard him, Rick. And all the years, a lot of guys have figured out how to guard him. He's still averaging over 20 points a game for a career.
I didn't say it was going to work all the time, Bill. That was just a suggestion. And Julius has got his last 7 points from the free throw line. Sixers by 3. 3:15 to go in the ball game. Tony dropped off of Humphries. There's Cheeks to double. Leaves Macy open, and Macy's got the hot hand. Now Macy now with 11 points.
And he's burned him every time they double team and left him open in the second half.
I think Maurice should stay with him. He's got the hot hand. Humphries hasn't shown that he's hitting that outside shot yet, so maybe the gamble in that situation is not that good. But Billy does give the free hand to gamble only to 2 players, Cheeks and to Bobby Jones.
That's a pretty good pair, I'd say.
Yeah, not bad. Shot clock down to 5. Nance with the steal. 3 Sixers back, and Cheeks with great anticipation and loses it back to the Suns. Macy back to Lucas, and the Suns set up. McLeod calling out a play. Looking for Nance against Julius. Tough off-balance shot, and Barkley with yet another rebound. The doctor finds Cheeks open. And Maurice Cheeks with a fine move against Larry Nance.
He went by 2 guys in, and it looks like he's going to the hoop, and he faded out toward the foul line.
16
Great
points.
move.
16 points for Cheeks. Bobby Jones and Clinton Richardson getting to come into the game on the next dead ball. Billy going with his defenders. He wants to have the good defensemen, the defenders in the ball game. Shot clock was at 8. Alvin takes a tough shot, tipped and kept alive by Lucas, but it goes to Malone. 3-on-2 break. Irving against Macy. Barkley blocked by Nance. Irving's got it, saves it. But it's back to Adams, and here comes Macy. Now it's a 4-on-2 break for the Suns. Here comes Humphries over Malone. Lucas with the rebound and the basket.
Great hustle by the Suns. Great hustle.
And the 76ers won a timeout as they have a 1-point lead with 1:35 to go in the 4th period. Don't go away. After tonight's game, stay with the Superstation for an in-depth look at one of country music's leading ladies. Don't miss Up Close with Emmylou Harris. That's tonight, right after the game, on your Superstation, WTBS. And you had a good look there at the gorilla as he really gets this crowd pumped up. He's probably one of the more entertaining mascots in the NBA. 1:35 to go. Bill, what would you do if you're Billy Cunningham? What would you tell your team to try to do offensively in this situation?
Well, I'd play the good, strong defense and try to get maybe a 2-man game with Moses and Tony. Now, Tony's going out of the game. Then you're going to probably have to go inside to Moses is what you're going to try to do.
We'll see what Billy Cunningham is elected to choose for his ball club. We got Moses outside.
Moses top of the key.
Well, he's going to set a down screen to look for him inside now. Great defense by Adams. He knocks it away. It'll be 76er ball with only 6 seconds to go on the shot clock. And so now the Sixers must improvise quickly. Billy Cunningham sending Tony into the game to get his offensive threat in. Good, smart play by Billy Cunningham.
Get a shooter in there with not much time so that if everything else fails, you can get a shot that has a chance.
Richardson to the bench. Humphreys and Tony are pushing each other under the basket. You see the officials step in to break that up. Inbounds to Cheeks. Cheeks back to Irving. Can't handle it. 3-2. Three-point shot. No good. Humphreys with the rebound for the Suns. And here they come, but the Sixers are back. Again, great transition by the 76ers. We're down, coming up on 1 minute to go in the ball game. You see the clock ticking away. Macy directs the attack to the Suns. He's been great tonight with his passing and shooting in the second half. Shot clock is down now to 6. Inside, Lucas can't handle it. Knocked away by Moses. Doc comes up with it. Here come the Sixers. Julius taking it all the way against Macy. Passes to Jones. It's knocked away. Bad pass. Adams up with the rebound. Here comes Humphreys. He challenges the big man. Malone blocks it. Bobby Jones with the rebound. Here comes Andrew Toney. 30. You see the clock. 35 seconds. It's not... Tony wisely holds it up, a 1-point Sixer lead. The Suns will get it back. The Suns need only to play good defense. Billy calls timeout.
They should have held that one up. They should have... I thought they should have held it up and not taken that shot. Not challenging two big guys. Come down and set up your offense. You got a good chance to make them either commit a foul or get a better shot.
Well, but also, Bill, in that situation, by doing that, if he had made the shot, the Suns would have been able to get 2 shots to the 76ers won, and so it might not have been a bad play, except for the fact he was challenging a pretty tough defender. I do agree with you there. What now? What now, Billy Cunningham? What kind of play? 30 seconds to go. 1-point lead. You know the Suns are going to get the ball back.
Again, you got to go inside and make sure that you either get a good shot or a foul.
All right. Now, suppose he misses, even though he sets a good play and goes inside. What are you going to do if you're John McLeod? What do you tell your team to do in that situation? Are you going to want to take a timeout?
As soon as you get the ball, as soon as you got possession, call timeout.
First, would you look for the break if it was there, a quick breakaway? No. This team gets back too well.
That team is too good a defensive team. They get back too well. You set up a team, and besides that, the Phoenix Suns are better as a half-court offense than they are at running the ball. And so you don't want to, at a time like this, you want to go to your strength. And that's execution.
So the very critical possession coming up here for the Philadelphia 76ers. And in fact, believing the basket doesn't put the game out of reach with the three-point shot in effect. And they've got some good three-point shooters. Rod Foster's made one already this game. Kyle Macy is an excellent three-point shooter. So this game will not be over even if the Sixers score that basket. Billy giving final instructions. Matty Gukas to the right of the screen looking on. You see Jack McMahon. And there's the situation as it stands at this point. In a great ball game, the Suns got out to a 5-point lead. The Sixers up to a 15-point lead. And here we stand. Julius all by himself. He might have walked on that play. Goes in and a foul. He had a tough shot. That was not a good foul. You can get that replay back. I don't know if we have it. I'd love to watch Julius's feet. Let's watch his feet and see if we come up with a walk. That's a little after. Lucas caught him on the arm. You saw him take the shot, and Lucas caught him on the arm as the Doc had a tough shot. So Julius, who has gotten his last 7 points off the free throw line, has a chance to increase the Philadelphia lead, and he misses the first shot. That's his first miss from the free throw line tonight.
And the Suns had to make sure that he misses it, that they can come up with the rebound. But he didn't.
Timeout. Suns, you call that. Now, what do you call?
Well, you set up a play that you take the shot between 6 and 8 seconds.
Take the shot with 6 or 8 to go.
And the reason you want to do that is you start to play with 6 or 8 seconds. So your shot comes off 2 or 3 seconds. And the reason you want to do that is
one try.
And if you make it, they don't really have enough time to really set up a good play at the other end.
Okay. Now, if you were John McLeod in this situation, what type of a play would you set up and for who?
Well, I would probably try to get if I could, I'd work a high lob for Nance or run whoever's guarding Macy. I'd run Macy at least 4 picks.
At least 4?
Yeah. I'd run the guy that passed the ball in, let him set the last pick.
You know what an interesting play could be would be to try to go to Nance as a decoy, basically, thinking that you're going to go to him, kind of clearing things out, but also kind of setting up a sneaky pick on Macy's man and seeing where Cheeks goes to try and free Macy and go to him for an opportunity, wide open jump shot. He's got the hot hand and he's shooting well.
Well, those are your two guys, Nance and Macy. Now, they may surprise us like the last time. This last play, I was surprised when Julius took Nance one-on-one, but the great player he is, I should not have been surprised.
Yeah, and the thing is that I was surprised mainly, too, at the foul on Maurice Lucas. I mean, he really didn't have a chance to block the shot. Why not just let Julius take a tough spinning move like that and get good position on the rebound?
You can't do that defensively. You've got to try. You know, because anything might happen. And it did that time. It didn't work. But every time there's a guy in there, you've got to try. You got to make a defensive move.
Now, you see the time is not on the official clock on the scoreboard up there. They have a malfunction. We're going to use the 24-second clock as the game clock. 23 seconds to go in this basketball game. Full court pressure by the Sixers. They've got the defenders in there with Richardson and Cheeks in the backcourt, Bobby Jones, Moses Malone, and Irving. Adams high. Lucas. That's not the shot they wanted, but they'll take it. And the Sixers quickly takes the timeout.
With 4 seconds left.
Just a little bit early.
But when the shot's there, you got to take it.
And so with our 11th tie of the ball game at 101, it comes down to this 4 seconds to go. Billy Cunningham must come up with an offensive play for his 76ers from the sideline out of bounds near the half-court area. A tough area to get the ball in.
Right. If the Suns are playing pressure, or they're pressuring the ball and the pass, this could be a real tough pass to get the ball in bounds. Now, here's Maurice. He's looking for the pass. He gets the ball back. He's got Moses outside playing forward now. He goes in, he gets him, takes a jump shot.
Now, I don't know if that was a design play. I would not think so. However, Maurice didn't have much of a choice. As you noticed on the replay, Bill, no one else did any movement for the Suns when he had the ball. They just stood and watched him.
They thought they were going to cut off because he passed in the corner, and he got it back. He said, well, I guess I have to do it myself.
And, well, he did. Maurice Lucas, in his first starting assignment since rejoining the club after holding out, hits a big shot for these Phoenix Suns to tie the game.
You know, when Maurice was holding out to get his contract, and they started off so fast, there were people that said, well, maybe we don't need him. They need him.
Yes, he's been a very important factor in the success of this team over the last couple of years. As the Gorilla gets the fans all pumped up. I said to Maurice, I said, what are you going to do against Moses? He said, hey, I'm just going to try and keep position on him, not give him too many offensive rebounds, hopefully he'll shoot a little bit more from the outside, pick him up a little bit inside the line. He's done a nice job of it. Basically, Moses has not gotten a lot of offensive rebounds and baskets when Maurice has been on him, but he said, I said to the coach, hey, coach, thanks a lot for the first assignment against Moses.
Well, Maurice has done a particularly good job of that because with him on offense, when Moses guarded him, he's taking Moses away from the backboard, so he's not such a dominant rebounder.
Andrew Toney back into the game, Clinton Richardson to the bench. So Billy playing a little chess game against John McLeod right here. The only similarity to the chess game is the mental part of it. It's a lot quicker in this game. They're not pressuring the out-of-bounds man. Interesting. A lot of teams have put a lot of pressure on the man out of bounds, and the Suns have elected not to do that. Let's see if it pays off. Bobby Jones to get it in. Blocked by Nance! And we have got an overtime here in Phoenix.
Defensive play. Larry Nance.
And we'll take a look at that last great play by Larry Nance when we come back. Stay with us.
The overtime will begin with a jump ball in center court. Both teams will have two.
I think Julius is the second option. Now, Nance plays a good play. It makes Julius go left. And then when he goes up for the shot, he's right there on the ball.
That's just an excellent play. He waited till Julius committed himself. And what happened on that play that I think the wrong thing that happened, and I couldn't see who it was because it's a little blurred, but one of the men from Philadelphia came towards Julius when he was going that way, and he brought his defensive man there, forced Julius to actually go up maybe a little bit sooner, not giving him a chance to really make much of a move, and Nance was able to time it. When he saw that happening, the offensive man for Philadelphia should have gone to the basket. Let's take another angle, and we'll see who the player was. And we'll try to point out what I'm talking about. Now, you'll see Julius. He'll pop out to get it. It's Maurice Cheeks. Now, right now, when Julius gets the ball and starts going to his left right here, Maurice should have gone right to the basket right now, because Macy would have probably gone. He goes to Julius, brings his defensive man there, and makes it almost impossible for Julius to get the shot off.
Right. You got pretty good eyes for an offensive player, Rick.
Well, you know, despite what people used to say, Bill, I was a pretty good defensive team player, you know. I mean, I didn't say I could go down and shut anybody out, because that would be kind of hypocrisy, because I never felt anybody could shut me down, and I don't think any good offensive player thinks that. But now, we'll get down to serious business with 5 minutes to go in this overtime here. We start. And I want to thank both of these teams for bringing us another exciting game, gentlemen, and keep up the good work.
Did you get that, Mark?
This time, Nance does control. Barkley had it and slipped off his fingertips. Nance, the first NBA player of the week this season. Lucas, the man with the big shot, again score. No, they call a walk. Traveling against Maurice Lucas, no basket.
What Morris is doing is bringing Moses outside and then trying to drive on him.
Not an easy task, because Moses is an excellent defensive player, even out on the floor. Julius from 16. First outside shot for Julius since the third period. He's got 24 points. Humphries is into the game for the Phoenix Suns. Nance, watch out. Julius and Barkley both there. The foul will go against Barkley. Now that's 5 fouls on Charles.
Let's take a look at that foul and see if the two free throws are worth the beating. We got a sandwich there.
Well, I'll tell you, actually, the man who made the foul was Julius, not Barkley. And so that's a tough break for the Sixers, because Barkley, having an outstanding game, gets his 5th foul. And in essence, Julius should have gotten that one.
And in his own quiet way, the jock, Julius is having a pretty good game, too.
Well, it's hard to hold a good player down. Nance with 25 points gives the Suns
1 point down.
1 point. Julius from 18 feet. Throw in there, baby. Julius, 26 points, and both baskets for all 4 points for the 76ers. 2 baskets. Adams wide open. Adams with his 23rd point of the game.
And Barkley has to be careful.
And they'll try to exploit that. Sixers on the perimeter. Moses inside. Adams a little late getting there. Nance comes over, and Moses scores, and we've got a foul inside. Foul is on there.
Nance has a good pass. Perfect pass. He said, I didn't hit him very much, and then I hit him on the hand. That was an excellent pass, though. Just because if you throw it too hard, the backboard gets in the way. And if you throw it too slow, the weak side has too much time to get there. So it has to be a perfectly timed pass.
Sixers by 4. The Suns need a basket. Can't afford to not score on this opportunity. Lucas from 16. Irving with the rebound. Cheeks holds it up. There were 3 Suns back. Made a smart choice. Tony inside to Malone. Moses trying to get position, and a bad pass. Break for the Suns.
But Maurice Lucas made him push so hard that he couldn't move because the pass was not a perfect pass.
Adams had Barkley in trouble. Now he gets Malone in the air. Very difficult shot by Alvin Adams. 25 points for Alvin.
So when you go down low with a guy like Malone, if you can get him pushing with his upper body, if the pass isn't perfect, he's so busy pushing, he's off balance, he can't go after it.
Exactly. 2:30 to go here in the overtime. Shot clock is down to 7. Julius. That's Adams at the rebound. They've got a 4-on-2. There's Adams. Humphries battles. Nance comes up with it, knocked away by Tony, but Macy comes up with it. Adams inside to Nance. Last touch by Maurice Cheeks, and it'll be ball.
Boy, that was a great opportunity to miss.
And another fortunate situation for the Suns. They could have easily lost that opportunity. No, it won't go. It's a great pass and tip by Nance and just crawled out of the basket. Julius gets caught in the air. Not a good play by the doctor with 4 Phoenix Suns back. He had nowhere to go and no place to throw it.
And once you go up in the air, you got to do something.
Macy. Kyle Macy. Billy Cunningham wants the timeout. He's bringing Bobby Jones into the game. That's 13 points for Kyle Macy, all in the second half here in the overtime. And we will be back with 1:52 to go in the overtime. And again, we're tied. You're looking at Kyle Macy, who's having an outstanding game here tonight. Kyle has 15 assists, 4 steals, 4 rebounds, and 13 points, all in the second half, shooting 6 for 8 from the floor. Charles Barkley having a great game for Philadelphia, as is Julius Erving late here in the game. Nance and Adams, great games. It's going to be tough to pick the player of the game.
Well, we'll have to wait and see who wins, Rick.
I guess so. We'll see who comes through in the clutch. Charles Barkley also has 17 points as Billy Cunningham comes up with a little strategy here. And they just have to come up and execute well offensively and defensively in this situation. There's still plenty of time to go in the game with 1:52. And the wave is starting to roll here in Phoenix. It's become very popular in professional sports.
Hope nobody drowns.
Yeah. Of course, they've got a wave here, you know, out in some place where they go out and ride a wave here. You know that?
No.
Well, now you do, Bill.
Okay. Boy,
I don't want to see you out there next time we're here when the sun's out. Bill really didn't care about that, did he? Okay, let's go to the Sixers. Inside to Erving. Basket by Julius. Julius Erving having a tough time from the floor shooting early.
And here's a shot. He got Nance trying to come up on him after he got the ball. There comes Nance there. Too late.
And a fine pass by Bobby Jones. They like to have Bobby handle the ball up high in those.
But he's also a good shooter from there.
And he can put it on the floor as well. The Doctor with 29 points. He got 7 points here in the overtime to give his team a 3-point lead. Jones all over. Moses Malone knocks the ball away from Lucas. A great defensive play by Moses. Cheeks to Julius. Julius, he feels like he's got the hot hand, and he does. Julius with 9 points here in the overtime to give the Sixers a 5-point lead with 1:20 to go. The Suns, critical situation for them right now. They must come up with a basket. There's still time. They don't need to go for the three-pointer either. Humphries has it stolen by Tony. Here comes Bobby Jones. Macy chases, but too late. Bobby Jones and the Philadelphia 76ers defense has done it again. 4 points only for Jones. But when the game...
So they're going to use that clock very well. And they'll probably get another hoop.
Okay, we'll see what happens.
They're playing a strong defense, just as strong as if they were 7 points behind.
Tipped in by Lucas on the miss by Humphries. So they didn't go for the three-pointer. They're down by 5. They're still going to have to get one sooner or later. If they get back scoring 2-point baskets, I'll be amazed. Because the Sixers aren't about to take an early shot. They're going to use that clock.
Now, there's the guy they should have fouled was...
traveling. No, just when we talked about the poise, we come up with the traveling against the 76ers. It's like the kiss of death. Now good opportunity for the Suns. Using a lot of time. That's not helping them at all. Humphries to Nance. They've got it back to a three-point game. And they're going to get the ball back. Good defense, and the three-pointer will tie it up. There's the trap on Jones. They got him in trouble. Now they've got a man wide open, and a good, smart foul by Kyle Macy. Because there was no one there to stop the 76ers on that play after that pass.
But they don't go to the foul line. They get the ball at half court.
That is not the penalty, but it's 27 seconds to go in the game.
And they have overtime. They have a new clock, 24 seconds.
No, he is going to the foul line. That is... Well, there's the penalty. No, because Julius had been to the free throw line. So Maurice Cheeks has a chance to virtually put this game out of reach right now. Maurice Cheeks, 17 points. John McLeod wants the timeout, and I can guarantee you now they're going to have to go for the three-pointer with the time factor. 4-point lead. If Maurice makes it, they've got a 5-point lead. Come down to quick three-pointers and 2-point game. Still could be interesting. That's the one thing I like about the three-point rule, Bill. Those shots at the end of a game, I think, have changed the entire coaching strategy because it adds an element whereby before you basically had a game locked up. It gives the team that is behind an opportunity to get back into it.
As if you have a three-point shooter.
That's true. Okay, Maurice Cheeks trying to put the Sixers up by 5.
You know,
he's had a great game also.
Yes, but he plays so good every night.
And the timeout by the Suns. That'll get the ball up half court.
Now, you see, the difference is that now the Suns have got to go on and, okay, so you got to get a three-point play. But the Sixers are good enough defensively that you got to work to get a three-point shot. You know, they're...
Well, who can put it in? They didn't bring Foster in. He's a great three-point shooter, but they didn't bring him into the game. Macy has a career-high 15 assists in this ball game. Alvin Adams. They get it to Macy. Nance has it back. Macy will get another shot at it. Short. No! Right. Yes. The Sixers get it inbounds. Here's the pressure by the Suns on Maurice Cheeks in the backcourt. They double Tony. Oh! Tough foul. Macy, I'm sure, didn't mean to hit him that hard.
Well, he wanted to make sure he fouled him.
And he goes over.
Did. And I will tell you something. If you don't hit him hard, it'll hurt you.
Now, it's up to Tony. He has to convert 2 of these to put the game virtually out of reach with the time factor. If he only makes 1, the Suns still have the opportunity for the three-pointer.
What do you think? You think you make both of them, Rick?
Yes.
And put out a point?
Yes, I do.
You mean you're going to take away the excitement?
Kind of nicked the front rim on that one, though.
Hey, only a great shooter would say something like that. A guy,
in your case, said, hey, thank you.
Anything that goes.
They don't have the timeouts. They got to get it up there quickly. To Nance. He's got a shot at it. No, he's looking for Humphries. Drive. 2-point game. And they say Clint Richardson stepped over the end line, and the Suns are going to get the ball back. And now they take their 22nd timeout. The Suns will get a chance to have a last shot with 8 seconds to go to tie the game.
Just because I said they were poised and wouldn't
That's
make
probably right.
I don't think
tonight, folks. And the Sixers have to go from here to play in Denver tomorrow. That is going to be a tough game. Denver, with the altitude and as well as they're playing.
And at the rate they're going, they may miss their flight.
Yeah, the Sixers, their defense has got to come through right now. Cheeks knocked it away. Lucas can't get it to drop. Jump ball.
1 second.
It's going to be Alvin Adams against Clint Richardson.
They got to hit it to one of the big guys and shoot it in the air.
The Suns did not get a good shot on that possession.
No, the good defense
by the Sixers. Cheeks knocking the ball away. That's the ball game. The 76ers have won in overtime, 119 to 117 over the Phoenix Suns in an excellent ball game. And Julius Erving, our player of the game for Miller. And we will be back. Our Miller High Life player of the game, you see him going in, is Julius Erving, who had 9 points in the overtime, wound up with 31 for the game, 11 for 12 on the free throw line, 7 steals, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. Julius Erving, our Miller player of the game, and $500 to be donated to the Multiple Sclerosis Foundation on behalf of Julius Erving. Bill, just a great ball game, I felt.
I thought it was a great game. Phoenix bounced back from the 2 losses to the Lakers, and they really they got a slow start tonight, but they played a heck of a game.
On WTBS, it'll be Atlanta playing at Cleveland, and then next week, remember on Wednesday next week, we have got Boston at Houston, and that should also be a great game. On behalf of our producer, Mark Goldsmith,
Well,
Doug Freeman, our director, and for Bill Russell, this is Rick Barry saying thank you very much for joining us tonight, and we'll look forward to seeing you with Skip Carey and John Andres on Sunday.